like, hey, we're recording.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Especially since you have a roommate, because just like,
Yes.
he seems like he's really cool, and he wouldn't be the kind of guy that would ever just like.
If I'm being honest with you, I think he's Mothman.
What?
Yeah, I mean, at first I thought the wings were just like a fashion statement.
Don't start bidding yet.
But then I thought,
I'm still mentally prepared.
but then I looked at the red eyes and I said, "Those are cool glasses." And you know what really sold the Mothman thing for me? When he went, I said, "Wow, these exchange students are just weird." Just pull that one. Yeah. I love that you had like a mouthful of water. Oh shit!
Oh shit!
My blood!
Okay.
You know how much blood it takes to fill a can like that?
A lot.
So much.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
How do you want to start this thing?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like I might find a place to
You
start
might
it.
find a place.
Just while you're amidst the chaos.
I don't even know where to start. It's been so long.
It's been so long.
It's been so long.
It's been like 2 days.
I know.
Yeah.
2 whole days since we
whole
recorded a
fat fucking
podcast.
days. Did you guys miss us? Because I didn't. I didn't miss us.
I thought you were going to be waiting for an answer again.
No, I never. That's never happened.
You did this thing where we were recording the other day, and he asked a question during the recording, and then like paused, like he was waiting for an answer. It was really funny.
I just, in my mind, when I'm doing this, I see an audience.
Do you?
Yeah.
Is that why you talk like that?
Talk like what?
Like, let me hear your like actual normal
this
voice real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I just kind of, it's like a mix between my regular voice and a customer service almost. I call it the presenter.
I did catch myself the other day being very monotone when we were recording the Fall Guys stuff. I noticed
gotta
that
bleep
in the
that
first. Why?
No one knows. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally going to go through a list of the things we have to plan to record, game-wise.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, I noticed that, like, in the first half of the video, I'm just super monotone. I'm just very, like, wow, yeah.
It's the energies.
Yeah.
I like that our icons on our thumbnails, you can see the energy rating off of how we're drawn.
Yeah. I think it's funny that, like, in the drawing, I mean, I guess it's just the positioning of the characters, but that, like, it looks like I'm significantly taller than you.
Yeah.
But in real life, I'm like 3 inches taller than you. Like,
are you, like, even?
Like, maybe 2,
Yeah,
if even.
it's-
Like, maybe.
I always think of you as, like, massively taller than me, too,
When
until
I'm
I stand
literally,
next to
like,
you.
I'm like...
You just have so much more
5'9"
leg
or
than me?
something. Yeah, I got some long legs.
You have-
But also, my torso is kind of long, too.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because I'm so skinny, it looks long, though, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm built like a strand of hair with a massive cock.
and I'm like a peanut M&M. And that's it.
That's
I
your
just
whole
roll
build.
around.
That's your entire build.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you were like an RPG character, what's your build like? Like ideal build?
Okay,
like,
wait, hold on. We doing like D&D stats or doing like...
Yeah.
Can you give me like an outline of what kind of RPG?
Let's just do like D&D stats.
Like
just rough idea.
Strength or intelligence is my dump stat.
Okay. I don't think intelligence would be... Well, if we're talking what intelligence is in D&D, maybe, because it's really like about like, I guess like based knowledge, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like in real life, if we're talking D&D,
which one is the ability to apply, like, the knowledge, and which one's the knowledge?
Well, so there's wisdom, which is more for like perception, insight, stuff like that. Very like, you know, like just picking up on things. And
that's why I feel like my wisdom's higher.
Yeah, definitely. Because you're good at picking up on things. But for what intelligence is in D&D, I feel like you fail a lot of intelligence checks because you're like, it's a lot of recalling information is what intelligence checks are, and you're usually wrong about things. Usually,
wow.
Usually, it's like I imagine you rolling a d20 and rolling like a solid 3, and you're like, yeah, that's like a 17. And you're like, no, dude, that's like a 3. And you're like, really? And we're like, yeah. And you're like, oh.
Two things. One, I love that, you know, our first session of today, we've already tackled D&D. Two, how the fuck, where'd the audacity come from for you to out me like this?
We're having a conversation about it. I mean,
yeah, you're right.
It's just
but,
the truth. I have 2 dump stats.
I mean,
strength and constitution. I think if we're doing standard array build, constitution is my really bad dump stat. I don't think I could take very many hits.
Yeah.
And also, I get sick a lot.
I learned... we'll get into this here in a second. On a different episode.
I mean...
but I'll continue with the stat thing. I think dexterity is going to be my highest.
Mm-hmm.
Or charisma.
Yeah.
And I say charisma half-heartedly because... the bubble tea story.
Do you want to tell that one?
Yeah, definitely.
Go for it.
So we had taken a trip, and you know, we'd actually taken this trip almost for the podcast.
Yeah,
we were going to go to investigate that really weird festival they have. So we took this trip to Santa Fe, New Mexico, which is not super far from us.
Right.
And we went to go look into that giant puppet thing they burn in a field, and it's crazy and kind of creepy.
What is he called again?
I don't remember.
I don't fucking remember.
Even slightly.
Something weird, though.
Super fucking weird. Like, something I would not be able to guess. And if I did guess, I'd be wrong.
Should we just tell, like, our entire fucking Santa Fe story? Like,
yeah.
How much of that have we told in the past? Didn't we talk about some of that?
I think we talked about
episode?
the UFO.
Yeah, we talked about the UFO.
Did we?
I don't remember. We can just tell it again. That's fine.
Also, for people that are, like, old school listeners of, like, our first 3 fucking episodes, we did, in case you didn't catch on another episode, we did have to redo our... basically the platform that submits our stuff out to different channels. And so I don't actually know if, because we did a rebranding of our name too. We're not just the Night Shift, we're the Night Shift Variety Show to help.
Right.
One, we are definitely a variety show. We do a bunch of different things, but 2, it's really easy to find us now since we've tagged on the variety thing.
I'm pretty sure you can just change your name on Spotify.
Pretty sure. But the thing is, since we took such a long break, we changed all of our equipment and stuff. We don't have the same RSS feed. We're not going to have the same. It's not going to upload with our other episodes. They're going to be separate.
Really? You can't just like restart the same thing? Oh,
because technically, when for you guys that want to start a podcast, when you ever stop a podcast, when you want to stop the billing, and it says cancel show, you do not get to uncancel the show.
Oh, okay.
It says you can reopen the show whenever you want to. That's what it says, right? You can like restart the show whenever you want to, but it's not going to give you the same feed. So when we upload, it's not going to upload with our other episodes.
I guess we'll see.
Another big one of my favorite podcasts that did the same thing is Critical Role. That's why you can catch the first campaign and the second campaign on Critical Role when they were with another company, and then when they became their own company, got different RSS feed, you catch like the second half of campaign 2. So both campaigns are on Spotify. You just have to, there's 2 different channels for Crit Roll. And that's basically how it's going to be for us, which I'm okay with because our content is so different now compared to what it was when we first started.
Right.
And that's fine. You know,
yeah.
We might have a completely different audience. We might have people that return.
I hope we have some returning people. I hope we have an audience at all. I don't know.
So we took a little road trip to Santa Fe, which I would love to take a road trip again anytime
under better
soon.
Circumstances.
Yeah, because also we have one trip planned for like next year, but we don't even know if it's going to happen anymore. So,
yeah,
but, yeah, big sad. But this trip, so We woke up pretty early. It was like 7 or 8 o'clock.
We were both running on very little sleep. Like what?
Yeah,
like maybe
definitely.
4 hours.
I think I got
even?
2 that night.
Yeah.
Which comes in play later.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's important.
But we hit up a Starbucks, got some coffee. Anthony got some coffee. Did you get coffee?
Sam got hot chocolate.
It's delicious.
Sam doesn't like coffee.
I don't. I like
I
Red
love
Bull.
coffee. I love Red Bull too. I love caffeine. I'm kind of like a crackhead.
Coffee tastes like sweat water.
What kind of fucking coffee do you
The
drink?
kind of shit they have at my work.
Ugh.
Like the Keurig.
Ah.
I was like, bro, vanilla, whatever the fuck it was, with creamer and sugar. I was like, this shit smells fucking great. I took a sip and it tasted like sweat water.
I also don't drink any hot coffee. I only drink iced coffee.
Yeah, I mean, I can fuck with some iced coffee.
I don't fuck with hot
There's
coffee.
some like
It can be winter and I'm drinking iced coffee.
I like espresso too, like when it's like cold and shit. Like that's not bad.
I remember one time you told me that something about you got a drink and it had like
6
4
shots.
Yeah, it's like 6 shots of espresso.
Because I had
you were like, it was disgusting. Yeah, no shit.
but I drank all of it. Yeah, I had an open to close that day, and so I just fucking went to town because those drinks were pretty cheap back there. But so we got some Starbucks, we drive up there, and I was like, yeah, we'll get there we'll get to the spot we want to be at 11 o'clock. We literally pulled into the spot. It was 11.
Yeah, and we were feeling great on the way there too. We weren't tired or anything.
Well, I mean, me and you were talking. The other half of the party was very asleep.
Yeah.
Which is kind of how the whole trip went. But so in Santa Fe, we hit Town Square where they have this really beautiful Catholic church and all these like little food carts and like really expensive jewelry places. And it was just so beautiful. And it started with a religious group yelling about their religious group. You can plug in whatever religious group you want, whichever one satisfies you, but you could also probably piece together some information.
They had signs and flyers, and they were getting in front of people and like trying to like stop them, but they weren't actually talking. They were just like chanting, they were chanting things about people like going to hell and like all this stuff, and it was very aggressive.
They were and in this really beautiful town square where there's really like
everybody was just hanging out. It was super
anyone
nice.
working was just people watering flowers, and there was like a little band playing some jazz music, and there were birds flying around. It was
really
fucking
nice
beautiful.
weather.
It was honestly like the prettiest.
Yeah.
And
we were just vibing, and these
really,
people were so loud. They had like megaphones and shit, and were like just.
And me and Anthony literally just got some street tacos, quesadillas with green chili in it.
It was really fucking good.
Super good, and a handmade lemonade. Just vibing.
The one of the dudes working at the place was like shouting back at
the. Hey, we have. Oh shit, was that your phone?
No, that was yours.
No.
Yeah.
No.
We're not doing this bit again.
Anyway, we have equipment. So, hey, editor, throw up a little video of me and Anthony in Santa Fe, because I have one.
You do?
I have one of this exact spot where we're eating. I look at the camera and I smile, and it's like, you can see the pretty scenery, and I cut to you, and you're shoveling a quesadilla in your mouth.
Put that on the please, not on the podcast.
It's on the YouTube part.
But it won't work with the multiple uploads, though. Because you can't, put a video.
Really? I can't.
Well, because think about
I
it.
could just self-upload this one on YouTube.
I guess. I don't want a video of me eating on YouTube. Come on.
Okay, fine. Sorry, everybody. You don't get to see that beautiful imagery. That's for me only.
Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. One of the dudes working at the quesadilla place was, shouting back at the fucking people that were, chanting and stuff. And he was like, shut up. Nobody wants you here. Get out.
Eventually, the cops came and told them to leave.
It was really nice.
Yeah, we finished eating, and then we were like, I showed them some cool spots, because I've gone to this place my whole life. I used to go there a lot of summers. And then we went to Meow Wolf, which was my 5th time, so it wasn't as entertaining for me, but it was
5th time.
It was my 3rd time. I'm being dramatic. It was my 3rd.
I thought you just went once before that.
I've gone 3 times.
When was the second time?
I don't remember if this trip was my 2nd or my 3rd. But I'd gone once by myself, once with a friend who lives in Santa Fe, and then with you guys. What order? I don't know, but I mean, I could really think about it if I wanted to. The timelines are a bitch. You know how much of that interdimensional travel, it's hard.
Yeah.
So, Meow Wolf was cool. They changed a few things that I liked about it a lot, but it was still fun. It was fun.
It was very cool. It was a super cool place. Ironically, though, I feel like Meow Wolf, as far as telling the story, is probably the least interesting
part,
of our trip.
Which, please, Google Meow Wolf. Literally, and then look at that and come back and just realize the fact that we said that's the least entertaining part of this trip.
It was the most fun that we had on the trip. The best part of the trip, in my opinion, was Meow Wolf.
That 2 seconds of the little mini erection I get from the arcade was actually my favorite part.
But like, just Meow Wolf as a whole was like
really
the
fun.
best part of the trip. We're not saying it was boring, but as far as retelling the story, there's not much to tell.
No.
It's really cool to look at. We had a great time.
Yeah,
and then
definitely.
and then more weird shit happened.
So after this, I was like, man, we're hungry. Like, let's go find a place to eat. We found an Applebee's.
Mm-hmm.
And we're white, so we get bonus stats if we eat at an Applebee's.
It's like you get inspiration. You get like a reroll on a bad. for
Yeah, the
eating
2
at
for 20,
Applebee's.
please. And then they give you like, ding, ding.
The
It's like,
waitress kisses you on the forehead, and you get like a point.
Did how old were we? Were we 20? We went there?
Yeah, it was a year ago.
We weren't old enough to drink.
No.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I remember the Shark Bowl that one time, and I was like, oh, it was so good. I've inserted all my Applebee memories, even when I was a child.
You're just a kid drinking a fucking big ass drink
big
from
fucking
Applebee's.
gummy in it. So we ate at Applebee's, and then we realized there was this huge fucking mall next to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went to the mall. We still had like a few hours until we had to make it back.
The weirdest fucking mall
Yeah.
that I've ever been to. And if you're from Santa Fe, I'm sorry. We're really
it's
gonna
a cool
trash.
mall. It's a cool mall.
Kind of, but also I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna trash on your mall a little bit. Like, it's nothing personal. I really liked Santa Fe, but your mall is weird. You have a weird mall.
Yeah, definitely. So it started with us going in a Spirit Halloween store.
Mm-hmm. But it wasn't Spirit. It was like a knockoff of Spirit. It was something completely different.
Yeah, but it looked exactly like a Spirit.
Right. It looked just like a Spirit, but it wasn't a Spirit.
Welcome to the theme of this mall. It looks like this, but it's completely not that.
Yeah.
So we go in the Spirit. We try on these rubber Super Saiyan wigs that didn't fit right. They looked like a bunch of bananas.
So while we're in there, just looking around, first weird thing, some random dude that I do not know, don't recognize whatsoever. I hear somebody call my name, or I thought I did, right? So I look over at this dude, and he goes, Arthur? And I looked at him like really confused, because my name is not Arthur, but I could have swore I heard him say Anthony. So I look at him, and he says Arthur, and I'm like, and then he goes, I see you, Arthur. And I was like, okay, and I just turned around and kept walking, and it was really weird. So then I think we left the Halloween store, and we went to like Forever 21.
Yeah.
It was the nicest Forever 21 I've ever seen. It was really out of place.
But it had the worst men's section.
Oh yeah.
We love clothes.
Yeah.
So much. But
Super
they
lackluster.
had literally nothing for us.
But like, as far as the way the place looked, it was super
it was
clean,
really clean.
and the whole thing was like glass and windows
had
and
good
shit.
service,
Like,
too.
yeah, like it just looked very modern, very nice, you know?
Definitely. And then
So out of
we went
place.
to Hot Topic,
I think so. Probably.
which had like the worst service. Is that the one that I literally like sat at the counter and tried to ask them
Yes.
something, and they just like
we went in, and they there was one girl working, which is kind of normal for that company. And she greeted us when we walked in, just like a hi, welcome to Hot Topic or whatever. And it was normal. We looked around for a minute, and then we were up at the counter looking at pins, I think. And you kind of I was looking at the pins, and you kind of leaned onto the counter, and you said something just casual,
Yeah,
you
it was
guys slow today, or
yeah.
something like that. And she was just looking forward, zoned out, not saying anything. It was very robotic. And then you were you said something else. I don't remember what else.
I think so you know how I said charisma might be my dump stat? This is the reason for the story, because this was just a dumpster fire for me. I think I literally said, okay, cool, you could just ignore me.
Yeah,
And she
full
completely
volume.
still just looked forward and didn't and I don't think she said anything.
Nothing
'cause no
at
one else
all.
came in. It was like no one else was shopping in this mall the
Yeah,
whole
it was
time.
very-
There was no one else here.
very empty.
Except for
All of the employees from the Applebee's.
Do you remember a lady we saw at Meow Wolf?
Right. It was a family that we had seen at Meow Wolf earlier that day, and I swear to God, 3 different employees from that Applebee's were there too.
Yeah,
was
our
just,
waitress
weird. Yeah.
was there. So it was almost
And I remember it being weird too, because I've worked a lot of restaurants, and I know how they break up the days. Usually around 4 or 5 is when the shift ends for the first people, and I remember that it was not around that time, really.
Yeah.
Like that time frame. Like it was either earlier or after that. I don't remember. But it was like a weird time for her to have gotten off of work.
Well, and especially because she was just helping us.
Like literally
Like
just
like
yeah.
not even an hour.
She
It
had
was
to have
less
left
than that.
right when we did.
Yeah. And I don't really remember, but I think she wasn't wearing her uniform, was she? She was wearing regular clothes, right?
I think so. I don't remember though.
It was a while ago.
Yeah.
But
we kept seeing people that. Oh, and we
Yeah.
saw someone from the town square too, right? There
Yeah,
was somebody that was.
yeah.
So we saw somebody from each place
from
we
each
had
place
been
we'd
that day.
stopped. So it was almost like the mall was, because we went in there, it was empty, basically. The mall was like, oh
was, like,
shit, the
populating
players are
with
here.
NPCs,
Let's
yeah.
populate them with other models that it's had through the day.
Right.
This trip has actually made me somewhat think I live in a simulation.
Yeah, it was very simulation-y for sure.
So then we went to like a Spencer's and like
It was like we left Hot Topic, and then there was like a store that sold like, I think it was like Indian stuff.
yeah.
And it was actually a pretty cool store, but it was super random. Like it was just like,
like literally just had like a karaoke set playing some rap music, and there was no one in there. And it was weird.
yeah, there was like no employees in there.
Yeah.
It was really weird.
It's really dark too.
There was like a couch that looked like Lips.
I forgot.
That was
about the
just
Lips
there.
couch.
There's just a
Yeah.
Lips couch.
Didn't it?
It wasn't there at first
That's-
though.
yeah.
We okay, so there was a wall that was like empty, or like it was a
Yeah,
pillar.
yeah, it was like a pillar.
And there was nothing on it. And then when we were leaving the mall later, we saw
This
like,
huge fucking couch that looks like Lips.
and that's not something you miss.
Well,
You
and
know?
there was no moving crew like anywhere.
Right.
Moving stuff in. So
Yeah.
like, it was big too. But okay, so then there was also the stuff store. Do you remember this one?
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, dude, let's go to the stuff store. And we are like, oh, it's closed. And I was like, you could close down every other store, and I wouldn't care as long as the stuff store is open.
It was literally
and
called
we went,
the stuff store.
Yeah, we literally went back to another store that was open, and they just closed in the middle of the day for no reason. And we came back, and the stuff store had just opened within the 2 seconds that we moved.
Yeah. It was weird. Things were just like opening and closing.
And-
And then there was a map of the mall that was
Yes.
so horrendously inaccurate. It was like saying that there was like an entire
huge
like
movie
huge
theater.
movie theater and a whole like
Yeah.
toy store.
Yeah.
And like all of these stores that just were
Weren't
not there.
But so I was like, dude, I gotta pee, because I had like chugged like 3 Cokes. I went to this really weird ass bathroom, and then we came back, which is where we saw all the NPCs that we had been seeing. But then I was like, do you hear that? And you could hear the fucking movie theater.
Yeah.
In the hallway of this bathroom. I shit you not, we circled this mall, dude. There was
No movie
and it was so loud. You don't just miss. It was an AMC movie.
They were
You don't just miss a movie theater.
they were watching something really loud. There were like explosions and shit.
It
like
literally
that.
sounded like a fucking Transformers movie.
Yeah, like, but we couldn't find the movie theater, and this
Anywhere.
hallway was like really like
Tiny
long and
and
confusing.
super
It was like
long.
really thin,
Yeah.
but like really, it
Yeah.
was a really odd hallway.
Did we like lose phone service or something?
Yeah,
Too?
the entire hallway had no phone
Just
service.
that hallway though.
Yeah,
And then I had been telling everybody about like how my friend was like, oh, there's this Santa Fe creature that you should look
it's
into
like
for your podcast.
Zazabo or something.
Yeah, something like
weird
that.
like that.
And we were walking. And I was telling Anthony about it, and I was like, "It's fucking weird." And apparently, they have this huge ritual where they burn it,
gonna
and
look
we
up his
fucking turn around, and there's a giant fucking statue of it that people just made.
Like massive. I'm talking
Huge,
like
like
30, 40 feet tall,
Yeah,
probably.
huge. And I was like, "Oh, that thing," and it was just like, oof. It was really weird. And then the food court had like
Zozobra is what
Yeah.
it's called.
Well,
For anyone that wants to look it up,
Do you
I
remember
guess.
the shitty crab place the food court had? Remember the name? It was like literally like a bubble tea place and then a place you could get crab.
Oh yeah, the food court was really weird too because
Yeah.
there was like
It was
almost
nothing you would
and then,
want.
Okay, and the food court had like 4 tables.
Yeah.
But it was massive.
Huge.
It was really weird.
Yeah, and so we kind of look around a little bit, and I see this tiny little entrance on the corner of the food court, and I walk up to it and go, I think this is an arcade. And I was
Big
like,
fucking arcade too.
holy shit. And they had like a wall with like Nerf guns and an indoor Nerf course and all these cabinets and a VR room. And I was like, this looks dope, but it's closed. So I'm
closed,
bummed
yeah.
out. So we go and we grab the other half of our party to go show them
Zazaboob.
Zozoboob.
Zinzabar? I don't fucking remember.
Xanax. And and we come back and the arcade's
Xanax,
open.
the guy.
The arcade
Yeah,
was just
it was just open.
like
like-
pulled a fucking stuff
And
store.
keep in mind, like I said, this was like 3:30 or something like
Yeah.
that. This was like middle of the day. It wasn't
Yeah,
like
you don't just-
early or something.
Yeah,
Like,
and I think the store that closed was like a big store, like a Zoomies or some shit
Mm-hmm.
earlier. But like, so we go in there, had all of my favorite cabinets from when I was a kid. Marvel vs. Capcom, House of the Dead, Time
It was like
Crisis
it was
2.
made for you.
I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
But we had to leave, so I didn't
Yeah.
get to play anything.
because we needed to like make it
we
back
had to
before
make
it
it
got dark.
before it
This was
dark.
like a day trip. So.
Yeah. But before we left, I got bubble tea because our local bubble tea place at the time had burned down.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, man, I want some bubble tea. And this is where charisma became my dump staff. I, for a very, very small amount of time, was a barista for a bubble tea place. And
A bubble rista.
a bubble barista.
There you go.
And it was one of the worst jobs I ever had because I think my boss just hated white people. I got harassed really hard, and a lot of recipes just they would make me like really, really memorize all the recipes. Like on my first day, like I had to take a test for it. But the recipes are literally laminated, put on the wall for you to read, and then very big letters, so it kind of doesn't make any sense.
And they were like singling you out about it.
Yeah, and all the other kids like didn't, so it was weird. Whatever. So I like my bubble tea a certain way. I like taro milk a lot. Milk tea is really good, and I was like, oh, can I get a taro with like lychee? And he was like, yeah, man. And the dude like made it for me. I took one sip and I went out loud, like right in front of this dude. I went, oh God, this is awful. I like said it to Anthony, but I forgot this dude's right behind me.
Like literally right there.
Behind me looking at me. And he goes, is something wrong, man? And I was like, oh, no, it just kind of sucks. And he was like, I'm so sorry, whoever you are, man. I'm really sorry. But he was like, I can fix it. And I was like, no, it's okay. It's not your fault. I was like, your mix just sucks. And he was like, all right. And he just like went back to his job. And I literally like threw it away. It was really bad. It was really bad bubble tea.
Yeah, it was really like powdery.
It was
Yeah,
gross.
but like right in front of this dude.
I'm sorry, man. I didn't. My
Yeah.
brain goes sometimes.
Probably the most normal guy we ran into at that moment.
Yeah,
too.
definitely. And then we started to drive back home, and I started falling asleep while driving, so I took a nap at a gas station. A big gas station, so you guys had stuff to do.
Mm-hmm. We like wandered around. It was one of those ones where you could like shop around inside and stuff. And Caitlin spent like literally an hour looking at rocks and buying rocks.
Yep.
So she was occupied, and I was there. You know?
I was alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to sleep. And then I was like, all right, I'm ready to go. And I crammed an extra large Red Bull and a 5-hour energy.
I also got an extra large Red
Yeah,
Bull
that's right.
because my thing was like, all right, I didn't have like a license or anything, so I was like, I can't drive, so I'm at least gonna like power through this with you, and like, you know, I'm not gonna like have you like half asleep just like pushing through this on your own. Like, this is a group effort.
Yeah.
So we both slammed energy drinks.
And we enjoyed a really good drive back. That's one of my favorite memories together. It was a good drive.
We were
I was
wired,
cracked
dude.
out.
But also, we were like fighting sleep the entire time, fighting to keep our eyes open for like a 5 or 6 hour drive.
The other half of the car was out the whole time.
Completely out, yeah.
But me and you would be like, God, I'm tired, I'm going, and then just like keep driving.
We were screaming, we were blasting music. And we were going like 90, 100 miles an hour
like easily 110.
Which I normally don't condone speeding.
We're in the middle of fucking desert.
There was no other fucking cars.
Yeah. And it's flat as shit, so if anyone's coming close,
there
I
weren't
can
any
see the
turns or
lights
anything.
and,
It's like a straight road almost
Yeah.
the entire time.
Yeah.
And there's like no one. So we were just fucking flying, just like blasting music, screaming the whole time. And I'm 99% sure that we've told the UFO story, but that is when we saw a fucking UFO.
Yeah. But also, let's fucking tell it again because
Yeah,
this
just
is
in
separate.
case.
We're starting anew, and
right,
it's a really good story.
Right.
So, and I would say bring Caitlin in here, but she actually missed it. But the other person in the car with us saw it. So me and Anthony were. I remember it very specifically. I remember exactly what we were. Can you fucking hit that switch though? I'm fucking freezing my ass off.
Yeah, I got you. I don't think I can reach it from here.
Oh, thanks. So we were looking at these red lights that are on like the turbines as you drive, and we were talking about how creepy they were because they all blink red in unison.
Yeah, so there's just like literally hundreds of like red lights flashing in the distance.
And it's creepy as fuck. And Caitlin was telling us about how like it freaked her out, and she kind of passed out for a minute. And we were just looking at these red lights, like literally on my right-hand side out this window. And then this giant ball of lightning, because it was that intense, that bright, that blue ball sat in the sky. How big would you consider that?
It was
massive.
Imagine like a full moon, like about how big that looks in the sky. Looked about like that.
It was big. That's cool. That's cool. I think it's cool.
Just want to make sure.
Sir? Yeah, it's cool.
I just want to be able to see it going.
Anyways. Yeah, so this big blue ball shows up, and we had an instant reaction.
We both just saw it. We both happened to be kind of looking that direction. It was because we were kind of looking at those lights. But like it was over those in the sky. And I'm talking, it was about the size of like a full moon. And it just appeared in the sky. It was like a very like light blue.
It was
very
lighter
bright
in the circle and darker on the edges. It moved fast.
It wasn't like a flash either. It like appeared.
And then sat there for a second and then bounced.
For like a good like 3 seconds or so. Long enough for us to look at it.
Be like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I kind of slowed down immensely. It made no sound whatsoever though.
Yeah. It was just there.
It was you, me, and the other person were all like, holy shit. And we looked at it, and then Caitlin was like, what? And then she had missed the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm still really bummed out for her that she missed it.
I'm really sad. I would really give like a fucking toe on my foot for you to have been recording.
Right.
I do have a recording of one UFO I saw on the Marsha Sharp. But
oh, yeah?
Yeah. Did I not show you? I'm like literally like driving from high school.
What were you recording for?
I think I had
filming a porn.
While driving on the Marsha Sharp.
Yeah, a teen porn on the Marsha Sharp.
Why did you have to make it teen?
You said you were 16, so.
Oh, that's true. Okay, yeah. That's fair. I forget that I'm not always just consciously 21. I was like, why? Well, actually, I think I was changing the song, and so I had like my aux open and like my phone open, and it was just easy as like swapping to Snapchat and like holding it down. Yeah, but the UFO in that one still made no noise whatsoever. Yeah. So.
I've seen like probably like 2 other ones at some point, which again, one thing that kind of ticks me off sometimes is that by definition a UFO is an unidentified flying object. Literally, if you see a frisbee flying in the sky and you don't know that it's a frisbee, that's technically a UFO.
True.
A UFO does not mean an alien spaceship.
True.
And I think it's funny because like there was that whole thing that like blew up on the internet where they were like, the CIA just leaked that UFOs are real and y'all aren't saying anything. And it was like, nobody was debating that UFOs aren't real because UFOs don't mean aliens necessarily.
True.
I'm not saying that if you see a UFO that's not some alien shit.
Because it definitely is.
That shit we saw had to have been.
Yeah.
But a UFO by definition doesn't necessarily equal aliens.
Yeah.
So that being said, though, I've probably seen like 2 or 3 UFOs. One was just like this like white thing that was floating in the sky for like 3 days in the same spot.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck that was, but it was really weird. It could have been anything.
It was me from the future. I was just observing.
And then I've seen weirdly moving lights. I did see a light one time. It looked like a shooting star kind of, but it went one way and then went the other way.
So, Sebastian and me went camping randomly one night. We said, fuck it. Like, he came into my room. He does this a lot. He used to do this a lot when we were roommates. He'd be like, yo, you want to go camping? But it's like 4 PM. He's like, yeah. Sure, man, let's go camping. And so literally I'll throw a bag together and we'll fucking go to New Mexico again.
Nice.
That's where I just go there for everything apparently. And so it's 4 PM in the winter.
Oh.
It gets dark at 5. So we didn't even leave Lubbock. It was night already. We were driving, and the actual same route on the way to Santa Fe, you just break off at that huge gas station I fell asleep on. You'd break off there and go left instead. We hit this little cafe, and it was really cute, tiny, cute little cafe full of old people. And when we ordered like 2 small meals to take with us, hot meals, and the kitchen was just really racist for a bunch of not white people. They were really racist and supporting our president at the time.
Oh.
And I just didn't understand. And I was like, let's leave, because it got really dicey. And so we left and then drove out there. And we get out there and we hike to our camping spot.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, hey, man, what is that on the side of the road? And I turned a flashlight on. And I was like, is that fucking snow? And then I just, like, used the flashlight on the rest of the campsite. Our campsite was covered in snow and ice.
But
I was like, we can't fucking set up here. It's, like, fucking snowing and there's, like, ice. And so we hiked all the way back to the car. And I was like, all right, man, what's for dinner? And he was like, I got these. Because he said he had food and supplies. And he pulls out 2 Gatorades and 1 packet of Oreo Pop-Tarts.
Oh my god. Are you fucking kidding me?
So I was like, we drove all this way for you to give me a Gatorade, a Pop-Tart, and we're going to sleep in my car while it's freezing.
That sounds fucking awful.
'Twas.
When you started telling the story, I was like, man, I wish I was that spontaneous.
No.
I'm glad I'm not.
No.
I'm very glad I'm not.
We wrapped up in thermal blankets, had clothes on, and we reclined both the seats back.
Did you guys spoon?
We didn't.
Did you do dick to dick?
No, we were in separate seats.
You had a possible dick to dick or dick to butt scenario, and you just chose not
Dick
to.
to butt?
Dick to butt.
I thought you said we're dick to butt.
No, dick to butt. There are different forms of cuddling. You can do dick to butt or dick to dick.
Or butt to butt?
Or butt to butt, but that's not as intimate, you know?
Well, I mean, putting 2 back doors together sounds really intimate to me, but I'll continue with my story. So we were parked on like this cliffside where if I were to go in reverse, my car would fall in a river and we'd die. But in front of us, you can see all the hills, or all the mountains. They're not hills.
Imagine some crackhead comes out of the woods and just starts pushing your car. Imagine you're sleeping and you wake up to just some big fucking crackhead just pushing your car like, hey man!
I love how often you use crackhead, because now I feel like I have some kind of ongoing vengeance against crackheads.
They're an entity.
So anyway, so we can see like the whole mountainside and you can see the whole driveway. And the whole night, dude, I have so many shooting stars. I counted at least 9. I could not fall asleep until like 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
So I saw all these shooting stars. Like, it was just fucking gorgeous, man. Like, the most beautiful thing. And then about 7 a.m., so I got about an hour of sleep. Sebastian goes, hey man, it's fucking cold. Can we just leave? I was like, yeah, dude, we can just go. And so we just fucking started the car and drove home.
What a camping trip.
Yeah, best trip.
Damn, that's rough.
Yeah.
That is rough.
I've had worse. Believe it or not, I've had worse.
Really?
Yep.
Are these like childhood type things?
Definitely.
Yeah, I've heard about some.
Yeah,
I don't know if those are good podcast stories.
Nah, it's okay. Y'all don't want my trauma. And if you do, subscribe to our Patreon.
Yeah.
That we don't have.
We post
Trauma.
We do full frontal nudity.
Me and Anthony are really into theater, and so he'll dress up as my dad and beat me.
Yeah.
And I'll dress up as his dad and beat him.
We're actually method actors too.
Yeah.
So we actually beat each other.
Yeah.
It's not.
So I do cram cigarettes in my asshole to get me started.
Yeah. There's one episode where I get like one of those like rods, like those construction like pipes, and I stick it in a fire for a little bit and let it get really hot, and I just jam it into his ass. And
I'm used to it.
You hear the searing and everything.
Yeah.
It's rough. I mean, it's hard to watch.
Yeah, for a second it's method acting as like you being an abusive father, but then about 7 seconds in, it turns into role play where I'm a cow.
Yeah,
and he's my rancher. He just brands me.
I'm just branding you.
Yeah.
And then
you know who I thought was really sexy? What? Hank the cow dog.
What? Me too.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
We're gonna cut this part, right?
No. Who was the dog that works with him? It was like Rover or something?
I don't fucking remember.
I don't remember. You know, I would like to talk about the fucking Batman. Oh yeah.
Bro!
What?
That is a fucking movie right there. That right there, that movie. It hasn't even come out yet.
We've seen one trailer for it.
Seen one trailer. I've watched that. How many times have you watched that trailer?
Less than 30, more than 10.
I've probably watched it like 5 or 6 probably so far.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
Basically,
I think realistically 12.
It's uploaded by a lot of different channels. There's like DC and Warner Brothers and IGN and GameSpot. Like all these different channels that I like follow have uploaded it. So anytime it comes up on my feed, I'm
You
like,
watch it.
click,
Me too.
and I just watch it again.
Yeah, me too.
It's like a checklist. It's satisfying. I see it and it feels like I get the excitement that I get from seeing something new almost.
Yeah,
you know?
I hyperfixate a lot on my favorite things.
Same.
So
Especially things that I can't have, like movies that are far off and stuff like that.
me before I met you, before like that first time I saw you in high school, hyperfixated.
Yeah. Until you got me.
Until I graduated.
All
high
those years
school and
later,
shot you a DM.
You said he's finally old enough. I can finally get him.
I mean, we're the same age, but
for those of you that don't know, Sam and I are actually about 5 years apart.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
actually just 15.
Do you want me to just cut the part where I said we're the same age?
No.
Leave it.
But no. So yeah, I do the same thing though, where like I haven't done it in a while because I haven't been this excited about something in a while, honestly.
Yeah.
But I am obsessed with this shit. Like
Yeah.
I cannot stop thinking about it.
I sat here and I was like, man, DC fandom fucking blew it up this year. No, they didn't. In fact, I'm just excited for Batman and then the Gotham Knights game. That's literally
Which,
it.
if you're not excited for Gotham Knights, fuck you.
I was just gonna say dope, cool, but like
No, okay, and here's why though. Here's why. In all seriousness, yeah, if you're not excited for the game or you're not interested, that's totally cool. It's not for everyone. I get it. But the majority of the backlash or like people against this game that I've seen,
stupid.
it's stupid stuff. It's invalid criticisms. If you're like, honestly, I'm not that into RPGs. I don't really like these characters that much. It's not for me. That's cool. That's fine. But I've seen a lot of people just coming after Warner Brothers Montreal, I think is the studio that develops it.
Which I also like Warner Brothers Montreal.
Yeah, they're a good studio.
I liked Origins.
I like Arkham Origins too. You can fight me on that.
Yeah, I'll fight with you.
I totally recognize its flaws. It's got some. But so do the other Arkham games, and it's really not that bad.
Yeah.
I think it does a lot of unique things, and I think it has a pretty decent story arc that some of the games don't have.
I mean, and like that part of Batman, 20s Batman, where he's they always have. It's like Mask of Phantasm.
Mm-hmm.
They always kind of follow the same thing. It's like where Batman has to decide if it's worth pursuing.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of an asshole to Alfred. He's really like aggressive, really angsty.
Yeah,
really stupid. I love it.
I like my Batman to be like that, though.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Realistic.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, we like Origins, and also for those of you that don't know, as far as like superheroes go, for me and Sam, Nightwing, all of the Robins, Red Hood, like all of those guys are like
pretty high up
top
there.
superheroes for us.
Top
Like
10
easily.
All,
yeah.
You know what? And I will even say, all of them except for maybe Damian.
Mm-hmm. I don't even like. I've never read any of Damian's comics.
Damian's really lame for me when he's a kid because he's really bratty and spoiled.
He's a little.
But anytime he's like a teenager or an adult, I like him a lot as a character.
Okay.
And it's because he always gets some really good growth.
Yeah.
He's also the one to act like Bruce the most.
I think like, honestly, like it would probably be like easily top 5.
Yeah,
for
all
both
of
of
them.
us, because like
them.
for me, the only other characters that would be missing from my like top superhero list would be Batman's up there somewhere, depending on the take on the character. Spider-Man, which not in like he was really popular in 2018, so I love him. Like he was my favorite childhood superhero.
And I think that's easy for like most of us to say, just because of how much publicity Batman got.
Right. But Batman and Spider-Man are genuinely up there because I've consumed a lot of their media and thoroughly enjoyed it, and I understand the characters and what makes them tick, and I like that. And then Daredevil is definitely one of my top for sure. He was one of my other favorites as a kid, and then his live action treatment was fantastic.
Yeah,
one of the
easily
best
one of
shows
my favorites.
ever.
Super good.
Yeah, for sure. And I think one of the best shows that I've seen, not just superhero shows,
Hands
and
down.
that says a lot because you can make a good superhero show pretty easily, honestly. Like,
I mean, you'd be surprised.
You'd be surprised how many they mess up, but I feel like it's not too hard to make a good superhero show.
Netflix, let us write a superhero show.
But to make a show that's about superheroes that is just a good show that somebody who's not even a superhero fan could watch and enjoy.
Definitely, yeah.
That's hard, and I think they did that with Daredevil.
I agree.
It was one of the first shows that Caitlin and I ever like watched together because I was like, when we first started dating around that time, it was like
is season 1 that old?
season 1 came out in like 2014, I think.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure. It was a little while after we started dating, but it was early in our relationship.
Yeah.
We just watched some of my like favorite shows. I think we watched like Full Metal Alchemist and Breaking Bad, because I figured that's a good one to start with if you're not like a TV show person.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good show. Watched that. I think we watched like most of Parks and Rec, like just some stuff like that, like shows that I enjoy and that were easy to watch, but also entertaining. And then I was like, all right, so my actual favorite show is called Daredevil, and I explained Daredevil to her. And from what I remember, I might be remembering this wrong, she was not interested. Not in like a, I don't give a fuck about that kind of way, but it was like a...
Doesn't actually watch it?
Okay, like, no, she was like, okay, yeah, I'll check it out. And I was really worried that it was going to be one of those scenarios where like she just is watching it but not paying attention, doesn't really like it. And we watched the first, I think it was the first episode, because like the kid gets kidnapped at the end. And we finished it, and she was like, let's watch the next one. And I was like, okay. Yeah. And we watched the whole season pretty quick. After episode 2, best fight scene, like in...
Where he's like jumping, and then he picks up the...
When he...
it's like on top of the... like the sex trafficking one.
Yeah, when he fights all the guys in the hallway, and it's like a one-take fight and everything, which they did one every season, and they kept getting longer and more complex, and I think that's really cool. But the first one specifically is my favorite, because he is beaten to shit. He's like all sliced up and messed up and like literally like dying and injured really badly. Daredevil's just a guy as far as physicality goes. His only power is like he has super senses, so he can sense what's around him really well. But physically he's just a guy, and he fights like 8 dudes in this hallway by himself, and it is one take. They filmed the whole thing in one take, and it is just so good. Even if you're not into like action or superhero shit or whatever, just look up like Daredevil hallway fight scene and like watch that shit. It's like 5 minutes, and you can just appreciate it, like just the way that it's shot. The fact that they did all that in one take is just incredible. But yeah, so we watched that, and then by that point I think she was like hooked, and we watched the whole thing. Now she loves it. We've watched every season together and all that stuff, so Daredevil is definitely up there for me. But anyways, I got off topic. We were talking about Gotham Knights, and I was saying that the criticisms that I've seen thrown at the game are really invalid. We have criticisms for sure so far from what we've seen, which aren't even something I really want to voice that much, because it's such an early game.
It's so early, like,
and they've shown so little.
Yeah.
But of course we have criticisms.
Thank you for showing us gameplay.
Absolutely, yeah. For like seriously, like that was awesome.
Between
great
that
reveal.
And the trailer for Batman, we got a lot more.
We got everything we needed, for sure.
Because we were like, oh, this can be some like 2-second trailer.
I thought we were going to get like a 10-second teaser of Batman, and like maybe like a cinematic trailer for this Gotham Knights game. But a lot of the criticisms are like, oh, it's an RPG. Oh, Batman's not in it. And like, I hate these characters, and like, this is lame. And like,
get the
just
fuck
stuff
out
like
of
that.
here.
Why is it not an Arkham game? It should be an Arkham game. And
I'm
like,
tired of Arkham.
It shouldn't. Arkham's great, but it's over. It ended. Let's leave that.
I mean, they're gonna continue with the Suicide Kill.
Oh yeah, because that's apparently in the same universe. I watched that trailer. I didn't care at all about.
I'm indifferent. I was like, this looks cool. It's a co-op. It's a co-op as well. Like, that looks cool. It's a cool
cinematic
idea.
trailers don't do anything for me.
I just don't care for the Suicide Squad.
Same. I've never cared about most of those
but
characters
Harley
very
Quinn's
much.
Popular. You know,
it'll do well.
Cool.
A game developed by Rocksteady with Harley Quinn. And, it'll do well.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, kind of fuck you, Rocksteady, but...
Why do you say that?
They're just not my favorite company.
What did they do?
Let me research it before I get into this.
Are you thinking of Rockstar?
No, I'm thinking of Rocksteady.
Okay, because Rockstar is a shit company.
Yeah, also fuck Rockstar. Rocksteady, man, I'm just going to cut this out, because like, there's a whole thing with like how they do DLC that I don't like.
Oh no, we can talk about that a little. We don't have to cut it.
I
know
don't
what
feel,
you're talking about.
I don't feel as passionately about it as like, maybe a fuck you is a little too strong.
Yeah.
But like, I just don't like how they do DLC.
No, I actually remember very well though. During the Arkham City days, it was like, if you buy the game here, you get this skin. If you buy the game here, you get this skin. If you buy the game here, you get this skin. And there was no way to get all of them.
Yeah.
And it was very like, buy this energy drink and use this code to unlock this. And it was just like
I
weird.
feel like Rocksteady was one of the first people to start open the gates of
microtransactions and stuff like that. They were
DLC.
For sure.
I like I mean. Yeah, that's a whole thing.
That's not a whole topic, but yeah, no, that's definitely something worth mentioning. they're not perfect.
But
for sure.
I mean, they got a lot better because Arkham Knight was pretty good about skins.
Arkham Knight was like you buy the season pass and you just get all this stuff. Like it was pretty cool.
Which I mean, yeah, I just really wish you could just get the stuff when you get the game. But
yeah, for sure.
But it's fine.
To be fair, all the season pass stuff was either cosmetic. The season pass wasn't that much, I don't think, and it was a lot of cosmetics and a lot of just like challenge maps and additional shit to do that like if you didn't have it you wouldn't be missing out big time.
I remember
the only big thing though was Season of Infamy.
Where
which
they put all the bad guys.
They
in.
added Killer Croc,
Penguin.
Mr. Freeze, Mad Hatter, and Ra's al Ghul.
Was there not Penguin?
Penguin was already in the game, but they added those 4 characters, and I actually replayed the game recently. I replayed all the Arkham games recently just because like I can play through those games in like a pretty quick span of time, especially the first 3. They're not too long. But replaying Night, one, I enjoyed it a little more this time than I normally do.
Last time I played it, I didn't enjoy it very much.
My biggest thing is still just the tank shit, but it wasn't as much as I remember it being. The ratio, I remembered it being like 70% of the game, and it was more like 40.
It's like 30.
Yeah, if even. Like, it was like 30-40% probably, which is still more than I want of tank shit in a Batman game. But it was mostly easy to ignore,
Yeah.
And I just avoided the side content that was related to it and stuff. But my biggest beef with that game is the fact
Lack
that
of boss fights.
that and the fact that the ending is locked behind getting every single Riddler trophy if you want the actual ending. Yeah, it's really stupid. And the ending you get if you don't do that is really unsatisfying. Batman blows himself up and then the game ends. It's like, this is how the Batman died. And it's like, oh, okay. And I remember finishing it in 2015, obviously not getting all the Riddler trophies because fuck that, and being like, that's lame.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm just not the biggest fan of the Arkham universe anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's very like
my
classic
beef
comic-y.
starts with like Origins and how Joker ended up being the big twist.
Yeah.
I'm just over it, man.
It's very reliant on Joker, which again,
Extremely.
coming back to the Batman, I'm really glad that they're not
doesn't
doing
even
Joker.
exist apparently. Yet.
And
Yet.
I'm hoping that it's a trilogy and that Joker does not show up in the whole thing. I know that's far-fetched. I doubt that'll happen.
I mean,
But I would love to see a Batman trilogy that doesn't have the Joker in
on
it.
one hand, it's like, I want to see a Joker fight this Robert Pattinson. But on the other hand,
obviously.
I would like to see a trilogy
Just
that doesn't have to fight.
Think about it,
Joker.
though. There's so many good villains.
Yeah.
And they can take a villain like Riddler, who's normally... Most writers will just reduce Riddler to a joke. Look at the Arkham games. They reduced that character to a bunch of challenges and a really stupid sense of humor. They took a character that's usually like that and made him something really cool and really intimidating. So imagine what they could do with any of his rogues gallery.
I would like, because this one's like Riddler, Penguin, and Catwoman so far. Yeah. So far. Mm-hmm. I would like Firefly.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I would like another Mr. Freeze. I would really like a Killer Croc.
Yeah. Imagine a movie that's like those 3 together. That would actually be pretty cool.
Scarecrow.
Yeah, I want
an
Scarecrow.
Actual good.
A good.
I
Scarecrow.
liked Batman's Begins Scarecrow. It was okay. But I want like an actual like Scarecrow.
Yeah, full on like Scarecrow, and I want them to really dive into psychologically what makes him interesting. Because his whole
it's supposed to be a psychological version of Batman. So
right,
like,
and I feel like they could handle a character like Scarecrow really well in this series and play on Batman and his dynamic and everything too, because they both use fear as their entire thing, and I think that's a really interesting concept.
Give me a Two-Face again, because I'd like to see Robert Pattinson's Batman get into the political Bruce Wayne that wants to rebuild Gotham.
And it was
Christian Bale's version. He was like, so I've got Wayne Enterprise, I'm like, go to shit. Batman usually does play a part in his business where he tries to rebuild Gotham.
Exactly.
So,
he tries to play things from both ends,
Yeah.
and I would like to see that. And also, I feel like Two-Face would really fit this universe because he's one of the more grounded ones.
Yeah.
And also, this movie is really focused on like just base level crime and corruption.
Yeah.
And that's like Two-Face's whole thing.
Yeah.
Like,
who else would I want?
I don't know. I definitely want Two-Face. I definitely want Scarecrow.
Yeah, I don't know if I want League of Assassins.
I feel like
I don't see this Pattinson doing the ninja thing.
Yeah, and I feel like the League is like a little too big for what this universe is doing right now, and I feel like adding it later would just feel weird.
I also don't see Clayface happening.
Mm-hmm.
A little weird.
He's a little too much. Yeah. I feel like they need to. I don't want them to do the whole like edgy modern superhero grounded
give me Hush.
thing. Ooh, yeah. Okay,
that would be dope.
when I first saw the trailer, I knew that Riddler was
yeah.
going to be the villain in this movie, and I was like, oh shit, is Hush in this too? Because I saw him covering the dude's face with tape, and it was like super
Very
Hush.
Hush.
So here's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking though, right? A lot of people are actually thinking this, that he's kind of an amalgamation of the two characters, like Riddler and Hush kind of combined. And I wouldn't be surprised, because normally Riddler isn't a serial killer. That's not usually his thing, you know? He's usually just like, I'm going to take hostages and try to mess with Batman and whatever. But now he's like killing people and like messing with their faces and shit. So like, but I wouldn't mind seeing like more serial killer type stuff, like Victor Zsasz or something like that would be fun, you know? But
yeah, keep my Batman grounded.
See, okay, and that's what I was saying though, is that I like that they're kind of going that direction with more grounded stuff, but I don't want them to be afraid to put something like a Killer Croc or something in there and really get into why that might work, because you can still have an edgy, grounded Batman and still use his villains, you know? Like, I hate one of the things about like modern superhero movies, and I say modern, I mean like starting from the 2000s, is like anything that's too comic booky, they're like,
they would
we
redo
can't do
it.
that.
I hated when they would take a character and redo it and put the modern twist on it.
Yeah.
I know there's an example.
So,
I know
like,
there's examples, but like
and a good kind of like made up example would be like Killer Croc in like an early 2000s movie would not be a massive alligator man. He'd be like
a gangster with like crocodile tattoos and fake teeth.
Yeah, exactly.
And I hate that
And
shit.
he'd use like a gun, and like that would be. And
fuck
it's like, why are you going to do Killer Croc if you're going to do him like that?
Yeah.
You know? Like, go all out if you're going to do that shit. Because look at like Arkham.
Guardians
Look
of
at the
the-
Killer
yeah.
Croc in Arkham. Like, he is massive and he's terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, and he only gets scarier throughout the games, you know? Like, I would love to see something like that. But yeah, look at a lot of Marvel movies. Part of the reason they got so successful, I think, is because they stopped being afraid to get into that weird
It's
shit.
a comic
you know?
book, you know? Like if I don't need you to be the most serious thing in the world for a comic book.
Absolutely.
I like my Batman dark and serious, but
Yeah.
like give me some weird shit.
That doesn't mean you can't still have characters like Scarecrow and
Sullivan
shit like that.
Grundy
And
would be
like,
cool,
yeah, that
too.
would be cool. I mean, there's a lot of really good Batman villains out there. I wouldn't mind. It might be a little weird, but I wouldn't mind seeing like a Man-Bat as like kind of a side villain in one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking that.
I wouldn't like a lot of these too.
That's
I
a
wouldn't want
character
to
I
see
would
as
see
like
them fucking up though.
that's true, but like I like the idea of Man-Bat just as like Batman's seen as kind of like this creature to a lot of
Yeah.
people, right? Like a lot of people don't even think he's like an actual human or
And then
something.
there's, like, the
and then there's an
actual-
actual so imagine like one thing I did like in Arkham Knight is that like you hear criminals like commenting on Man-Bat and they're like, I saw Batman earlier, he's looking a little hairier. Or like there's one guy that's like, Batman's not like an actual bat, right? And he's like, no, what do you mean? And he's like, because I just saw him and he looked like a real bat. And he's like, you're losing it, man. Like I kind of like that concept of like him just being
Them
out
getting
there
it mixed up.
Yeah, like
Fuck, man, because I want to see Deathstroke and Batman duke it out.
yeah.
And I want to see I'd kind of like to see Deadshot too,
Mm-hmm.
but I know that Marvel's Marvel, oh my fucking god, DC is really banking on Harley Quinn, Deadshot together in Suicide Squad, and they're really banking.
Deadshot's actually not in the new one.
Is that not Deadshot?
No, it's just
Am I
like,
getting my black guys with guns mixed up?
yeah, you piece of shit.
Who's this one?
I don't remember. I genuinely
Because I was
don't remember
wondering
seeing-
why Will Smith didn't play.
Yeah,
him.
no, it's a different guy who, and that's, you're not even like being an asshole. That he legitimately like
wearing, like, the
he's
same
wearing the
fucking
same
suit.
like outfit and he
Yeah.
uses a gun and like,
He's got two guns. That's the
did
whole
you
thing.
see the cast list for that movie? It is massive.
massive.
So many characters. Like that's too much. How are they gonna do that? Like
I don't care for Suicide Squad.
same.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just not interested.
Mm-hmm.
Because people go, oh man, DC's really milking Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. I like Batman.
Right. It's a good character.
Give me more Batman.
Right. I want to see.
I'm tired of like Justice League Batman. You know,
Yeah.
I'm tired of like I have a super Iron Man suit to fight Superman.
I
don't want that.
I want what
Give me-
Daredevil was in the MCU,
Yeah.
but for Batman.
Give
you know?
me I bust mobsters and I have anger issues, Batman.
absolutely.
You know? And I do.
That's what it
I
looks
do.
like we're getting.
Yeah, and I do want Robin. I want Robin
Yeah,
stuff.
I wouldn't
but
mind seeing
I
a
don't
Robin in this one.
really know if I want Robin with Robert Pattinson.
That's true. Yeah. I don't know how well that would work.
Because I like, in my mind, there is this era of Batman's life where it is dark and it is depressing and he
he's, like,
doesn't have his
alone
shit
and-
together and he's alone and he's busting mobsters. That's fine.
And I feel like the kind of transition is his villains start to get a little bit
Yeah, when they get wackier is when he gets...
And also he's been around long enough that he's on good terms with the cops by this point, because I like my early days Batman to be on bad terms with the cops
Same,
too.
but it doesn't look like that's how it is.
I don't know. There's a whole scene of the cops trying to kill him.
Maybe he's just cool with Gordon.
Yeah, I think that's what it's going to be. I think it's going to be like he's kind of, I don't even know if it's going to be that as much as I think him...
They're going to have an alliance towards the end.
And I think him being on that crime scene in that first scene they show in the trailer is the first time he's interacting with them, because in the first shot, you
he's
see
like
all
walking in, it's like
and you see all the cops
boots.
looking at him like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah, I agree.
Like, so I think that he's going to be on
Here's
really
a topic.
weird terms with
Do
him.
you think the Batmobile is going to show up at the end of the movie?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's got his bike.
Mm-hmm.
There's the footage where he's in the bike.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what I'm thinking. He's got a bike through most of the movie.
Yeah,
And at
which
the
I'm
very
here
end,
for.
yeah, and at the very end, it's like Alfred's like, "Yo, it's done,"
Mm-hmm.
and then he's like, "Oh," and he revs that bitch up and he races across town to get Riddler.
Yeah, I'd be down as fuck
Yeah,
for
give
that.
it to me.
That would be great.
I love the Batmobile.
But
Give
I like
me a muscle car that's been alternated.
yeah, same, because I hate the tanky iterations of it.
Yeah,
I hate the
Tumbler?
the Tumbler, and then I hate the one from Arkham Knight. And
I like the
whatever.
Arkham Asylum Batmobile.
Same, yeah, that one's
Tiny little
nice.
zippy guy.
I even like, other than the big wings on the back, the
Tim
1989 Tim
Actually,
Burton.
I'm a fan of that one. It's a very animated series. I like that. one.
The only thing I don't like about it is the big wings sticking up
You
off
know,
the
actually-
back. If those were shaped a little better, I wouldn't.
The only thing I don't like about it is the fact that it has dual mounted machine guns in the front.
That too. Can we talk about how Tim Burton doesn't understand Batman?
Can we talk about how most directors don't understand Batman?
Can we talk about how Zack Snyder doesn't understand
He like
Batman?
he holds an LMG with one hand and shoots a grenade. And I just, dude. On one hand, I really like Batfleck. On one part
Yeah.
of me is like, man, that fight was cool.
Yeah.
His suit's cool.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I don't like how the character. I don't like his lines.
Uh-huh.
I don't like how massive he is.
Unnecessarily massive. Batman's supposed to be a ninja.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Batman should be skinny, but I think Pattinson's build is perfect for the character. He should be able to
Why
move.
are you going to tell me Pattinson's too small when Bale is literally tiny?
He's the same size, literally.
Yeah.
Like, they're the same size. Like,
Yeah. Like,
and nobody complained about that from what I
no.
remember.
Yeah.
So.
And he doesn't even, like, when he's working out as a ninja, he doesn't look ripped
Mm-hmm.
by any means. He looks like just a dude.
Yeah.
So whatever. But I don't, anytime Batman fought anyone besides the people in that warehouse, it was guns.
There's just guns, yeah.
It was just guns.
And have you seen the interview where Zack Snyder talks about why Batman kills?
I
in his
remember
movies?
it being something.
He's basically just like, it's
Yeah.
cooler if he kills people, and like, you guys are just being babies. Like, and he's like,
gonna
he
kill him at
literally,
least one timeline or something.
and he literally says like, get over it and whatever. And like, dude, you fundamentally do not understand this
Damn, the
character.
Yeah.
And it's funny to me because everybody's
Because I
like,
bet if you asked him, hey, can you make Superman like kill? No, because Superman kills someone in Man of Steel, and he goes, it's a huge thing because Superman doesn't kill, and it's like a whole arc for him. And I'm like, yeah, is it? Is it, buddy? is that a big part of his character is that he doesn't kill?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
well, see, and Superman generally doesn't kill people, but it's not like it's not a code kind of thing. Superman's just not the kind of guy that does that kind of stuff, which I actually like Superman in comics a lot. He's definitely not like a favorite superhero or anything. I think he's a little uninteresting in a lot of ways because he's too powerful. But I think writers that understand Superman write him in a way that makes him interesting because they know that the stories that are the best Superman stories are the ones about him solving problems that he can't punch, you know?
Yeah.
Superman being a good-hearted person. Superman is more human than most humans, you know? He is a very like good natured person, and that's what makes him interesting. And I think that's fundamentally missed in the movies as well. And I just think it's funny that there's this big campaign like release the Snyder Cut.
You know,
and
it's
now
the same
everybody's
movie.
acting like it's going to be this god-sent thing, but Zack Snyder doesn't understand these characters. I'm sorry, he doesn't. I'm not saying it's
Yeah.
going to be bad. I'm sure it'll be better than what we got for sure.
Yeah.
But it's still going to be a shitty Justice
Well,
League
the reason
movie.
people are like it's gonna be better. Okay, and first off, he killed Dick Grayson, so I'm already out. Already out. But I just, yeah, I like Henry Cavill's Superman more than any other iteration of Superman because I like Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
But
I don't like the way that he plays the character
same.
though.
I
because
don't
again,
care for Superman in
is
the comics because Superman is. It feels like within the last 10 years it's always been the same thing. What if Superman was evil? That's all it ever is. Superman turned evil. Joker brainwashed Superman. Superman lost it. It's always the same fucking thing.
Yep.
Like it's all, and it's like, how do we solve it? Bring in another Superman. It's always that. Always.
Yeah.
And like my biggest thing, the reason why I like Batman comics so much and Gotham, just go ahead and group them as the Gotham Knights or Bat
Knights,
Family.
yeah.
They have well-written stories that are usually unique.
Because it's
DC
easy to write
is-
characters
yeah.
that can die and get hurt.
DC is not creative with their stories.
But
It is-
that isolated area of the Gotham characters is
are
usually really good. Yeah.
Jason Todd is one of the best written characters.
Yeah, really.
Easily.
And
Tim
that's
Drake.
part of why I kind of say that I think Marvel comics in general are a little bit better because I think they handle the overall thing
Yeah.
better.
And I hate
but
it.
if we just look at DC for like Batman and those characters,
Yeah.
then that's going to take it for me.
I hate
you
it because I'll sit here and tell you that I'm more of a DC fan. I say that openly. I don't like anybody in DC but the Bat Family.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
And
like,
so yeah, you're right.
if I have to be honest about it, I think Marvel is better, but I
Yeah.
like DC more specifically just for the Bat Family.
and it's literally only ever the Bat Family. It's the only people
what,
I
like
read.
5 characters?
Yeah.
Like
if even I like my
3
Robins and my
and
Batman. It's 4
yeah.
people.
yeah.
Barbara
Same.
Gordon's good too. I just don't.
She is a good character.
Well, okay. I like the Teen Titans. I'll read it.
That's true, yeah.
I'll read Titan stuff.
I just haven't read really much Barbara Gordon stuff, honestly.
I really like when Batman and Superman interact.
Yeah.
There's this really, I don't remember what comic it is, but there's this really wholesome comic where Batman and Catwoman get engaged.
Yeah, I remember
And they,
that.
Batman and Catwoman go through an elevator shaft and all this shit. And Superman and Lois fly through the top to meet up and talk. And they swap outfits and they go to like a carnival. So like Bruce is wearing like Superman's outfit, his face is showing and everything, and and Superman's wearing like Batman's outfit and has like the glasses over the cowl, and like Catwoman is wearing like normal clothes, and Lois Lane's wearing Catwoman's like outfit. They're just getting ice cream, talking about the wedding. It's really nice. I like it. And that's like little thing. Like even when Batman interacts with other people, I think it's more entertaining.
Yeah.
There's
I like when they humanize them a
Yeah,
little bit.
there's like this Joker War thing going on right now. I don't read a lot of comics. I don't. I go through Instagram and I see shit.
Yeah. I most of the comics that I read online.
Yeah.
Just there's a lot of websites where you can just read comics online.
Yeah, I just comic books irritate me because like it's like one author's like I'm gonna do this, and another author will like the next author will literally undo that shit, and it's like it feels like a Disney Star Wars movie. Like,
Yeah,
they don't
I'm
know
not
where
like
they're
an
going.
avid comic book
Yeah.
reader, but I definitely when I like a character, I research on that character and their comic history, and I read things about that character, and that's why I know things about the Bat Family and enjoy them like I do.
They're great. If I had to rank, I'm not gonna do a numbered list, but I'll give you 5 of my favorite superheroes. It's gonna be Dick Grayson, Tim Drake. I like Tim a lot. Batman, Spider-Man, and probably Iron Man. I know those are really like basic, but
Yeah.
man, I liked Iron Man before the Iron Man movie came out.
Yeah.
And it was like just a cartoon where the dude shot lasers. I liked him because he kind of looked like my dad, and like. I like the character a lot. I like why Stan Lee made the character. I liked the attitude of the character.
Why did he make the character? I
He
don't
wanted
know.
to make a character that was extremely unlikable.
Nice.
Because he wanted to make a character that it was in the middle of the Vietnam War, and Stan Lee was like, I'm gonna make a character that will like it's hard for people to relate to.
Yeah.
So he made Tony.
Kind of an asshole.
Yeah, he made
That's
Tony. And what Tony represents in the MCU, I love.
Yeah.
I love his character arc in the first movie. I love what he is to the Avengers. Like,
Oh yeah.
he's my favorite. I'll fight anybody on it. He's my favorite. And he's the best, and that's just where that's gonna end.
I think surprisingly, if we're talking MCU, I rewatched most of the MCU movies recently, and it kind of surprised me. But I think in the MCU that Captain America is my favorite.
I
Which
like
is
Cap.
Really random.
I like Cap.
Because I do not like him in the comics. I've
Me
never
either. I can't
enjoyed
stand him in
him.
the comics.
But his character arc and just his character in general
I like
is
him
really
in the
good.
MCU a lot. I just can't
Very
stand him in
enjoyable.
Civil War.
Really?
Yeah.
It's just because he's fighting Iron Man.
No, I side in the comics. I actually really do side with Cap.
Yeah.
In the Civil War comics, but in the movies, I side with Iron Man. Just. But I mean, also they're the fucking Avengers. They should have been like, "You guys gonna try to stop us? Like, really?
Yeah.
You gonna pull your funding? It's all Tony, like,
Right.
You know,
That's a whole.
that's a whole
complex movie.
other episode. We
I
can
really
go into.
respect what they tried to do with that movie, and really they did mostly pull it off. I mean, it had its
Let's
issues.
we need to do an episode where we break into our Marvel rewrites.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We've got a lot of
definitely.
those.
Yeah,
Need
We're
to
kinda-
actually like really sit down and like
Yeah.
write those too though before we do that. Like
Yeah,
actually not
yeah,
write
I mean,
but like
yeah, do an
outline.
outline. We're kind of we're running out of time today.
What are we at right now?
We're at a minute or an hour. A minute. We're at 1 minute. We're at an hour. 12 minutes.
Sounds good. Is there anything else you
No, thanks for kind of being patient, guys.
Yeah.
If you actually checked out the episode, we really appreciate you.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, it was so nerdy, but
yeah, I'm not sorry. It's gonna be like
get
this.
used to it.
Yeah,
I mean,
we'll definitely still do spooky stuff because, and we're gonna have a lot of episodes. We're gonna tackle what this channel is, but basically we're a bunch of alt kids that just hang out and do what we like.
Yeah.
We're some decently gothy boys, so we're gonna tackle some gothy.
We like spooky stuff. It's just not
but
the only
also,
thing we
I
like.
like D&D and Marvel and DC and games, and that's just how it is.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. Well.
Thanks for checking it out, guys, and we'll see you next time.
And hey, good episode by the way. Come over here real quick. I want to suck you up.
Yeah.
Just
Come
like
here.
as a little
Yeah.
reward.
No, that's usual. For
Just a little reward for the.
Wait.
Turn it
Oh,
off. Turn the
right.
audio off.
Sorry. Fuck. What button is it?
Just fucking press the.
I don't.
Turn it off!